Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Talk with the Angelics, where we talk about life as a dancer, entrepreneur, woman, all things. We cover so many bases here, but the goal is to educate and help anybody who may have questions. So, we are back with another episode. And if
Woo.
you,
The sound effects in the
I
background.
love it. They're probably like, who is that
Right.
talking? It's not just me today. We have Luna and Sayla. They're behind the camera. They're gonna be asking questions. We wanted to try a new way of filming. So yeah, this is what we're doing. So y'all get to see my face.
Beautiful face. Hi, guys. I'm behind the camera and I'm going to ask her a lot about branding today. Now, she knows a whole lot more than I do, so I'm going to learn with you guys. I'm going to ask you, what is the importance of having your brand and how do you start off branding yourself with the resume, headshot, dance reel, and everything? Let's start first with the resume. What do you have to have on there?
So that's gonna depend a lot on what you're like the job that you're going for.
Mhm.
So I'll go from like a performance standpoint. You always want to have like if you're going for gigs, tours, music videos, stuff like that. You always want to have like, of course, your name. You want to have like your stats, so like height, hair color, eye color, things like that on there. And then you basically want to have a clear outline of your experience. So you'll have a section that says if you've done music videos, you'll have a section that says music videos. You'll list out music videos that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have live performances or like concerts. That'll be a section. You list that out. It you want it to be as clear and concise as possible and
Okay.
very simple, not like all the designs and the colors and the
Yes.
doodles on the side. They
They don't like it.
casting agents don't want to see all that. They just want to see who you worked with and how much experience you have. So very simple to the point, but like every single job that you do, you want to add that on there.
Okay.
If it's like a teaching resume, if you're trying to be like a dance teacher or something, you'd have where you've taught, like
Mm-hmm.
teaching experience, and also like who you've trained with and the styles that you kind of do.
Okay.
And you also have that on your performance, but the main thing is just like listing it all out really simply.
Okay.
Hope that makes sense.
Yes. No, that kind of answered my next question, but I was going to ask, do you put everything on your resume or just the things you think will be captivating to their eye?
It de- mm, you you essentially want to put everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? You want to put the bigger things first,
Right.
like the really major jobs that you've had. You kind of want those to stick out earlier
Mm-hmm.
rather than having like way at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think of like a casting agent, they're going through hundreds of resumes. You want something that like they see this immediately and they're like, oh, okay, they worked with this person or
Right.
they were here. Like, yeah. So essentially everything, but like the bigger major stuff, put it more towards the top where it's more noticeable.
Okay, now that
Yeah.
makes sense. Now headshot. How do you create a professional headshot and something that's different from everyone else's?
Mm. I keep saying like it depends on what you're going for because it kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going for more of commercial dancing, that's like your music videos, tours, and stuff like that. They want to book people, casting agents mainly want to book people who they can see being like very artsy, very um creative, colorful, things like that. They want to see something different. So with your headshots, you might want to have more of a fun outfit with like maybe you're doing like a dance pose or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Still not like too much makeup here. You still want your face to be like this is what I look like,
Right.
not a completely different
Yeah.
mask,
They'll be like, who is this?
You'll be like, you don't look the same. But the outfit will be you want it to be more fun, maybe more chill,
Okay.
something that looks more like performance and creative versus if it's like commercials, TV, acting, stuff like that. And there's like dancers who do commercials and stuff. So that's what I mean. Like by that, you want it to be more of like a clean, solid background something simple with the top, maybe like a what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe like a simple white t-shirt or some kind of colored
Mm-hmm.
t-shirt with a solid background, super natural makeup, so they can see you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the two. That's kind of how you want to think of the headshots. But at the end of the day, you always want it to look like you. So like if you change your hair color, every time you change, you got to get your headshots updated.
Right. You don't want to show up with a different hair color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They'll be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hold on, we wanted the blonde hair charity, not pink or whatever.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that because it's like typecasting is a
Right.
big thing. So like they might want two brunettes, they might want a blonde, they might want a redhead.
Which
And
is
if
a sad
you
thing to think about, but it's also kind of reality. Like you never know what
mm-hmm.
they're trying to look for. So
Yeah.
you kind of don't want to change your look all the time. Would you
Yeah.
agree? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure.
Okay, now I'm gonna go into dance reels. We know your dance reels be popping off on Instagram, so you know a lot about it. What would you say is more or gains a lot of likes and people interacting with those dance reels?
I would say higher quality. You know,
Mm,
it's kind of like kind of with any content. You want it to be like good lighting, high quality. Um, the background is not super distracting and things like that. It really just depends because there have been like videos where you're just in the studio and it pops off, or if you're like at a
mhm,
location or something, it just pops off. But the main thing is like I think the quality of it, like
mhm,
clear video is not blurry, it's not dark and stuff
right.
like that. Also, like the performance part of it too. You want your performance to read through the camera, through the phone.
Mhm,
If you think of like stage performance, it's kind of easier because you have an audience and they're feeding you energy
mhm.
versus if you're like just on the phone, you kind of have to like be entertaining to the camera or
Yeah,
people go just gonna scroll,
right.
kind of like the hook, a hook, like at the beginning, like
Mhm.
they gotta be eye catching. People are like, ooh, what's she doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
I
think those
love
would be the
that.
biggest.
Okay, would you say you change your background most often for those dance reels?
Oh, it just
Does
depends.
it matter really or no?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think the quality is more so the biggest thing, and then like the performance. Because if you think about it, Instagram now it's a resume. That's what
Mm-hmm.
people use to book. So
Very
it's
true.
like you want to be dancing, of course, but you want it to still look like if someone saw this, they can see you on stage,
Okay.
even if it's just like in a studio, right? Even if
Right.
you're just dancing in a studio, you still want to be like giving it your all and
Mm-hmm.
making it look good.
Awesome.
Hope that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk more about branding since we're always trying to develop and grow. I would say, what is your challenge right now with branding, or what do you want to work on a little bit more with that?
What do I want to work on more with branding? I, when I think of branding, I think of like a personal brand where it's like it's more than just like the social media part of it, what people see, but like how you are in person when you're talking to people, when you're networking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something that a lot of people forget about. That's part of your personal brand too. Like if you go somewhere and people know you as being, I don't want to say the B word,
Yes.
but like they see you as mean, they're not gonna want to work with you. They're not gonna want to
That's
hire
very
you for
true.
jobs or
Yeah.
anything like that. So it's like being kind to people and still upholding, like you see this super fun person on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and you still want to uphold that and be open and outgoing and
Right.
yeah, in person. So I think that's probably my struggle because I like to be in the house. I'm very introverted. So when it comes to like networking and stuff like that, talking to people, that's just a struggle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now to end it off with the branding, what kind of jobs have you gotten from that?
I would say that that's part of like the networking part because a lot of the gigs that I've gotten have been through
Mhm.
people I know.
Okay.
And maybe like usually it would be they send my page to whoever is trying to look for dancers
Hmm.
and they choose from there, or they be like, hey, I know a couple of dancers, she can do this, blah blah
Hmm.
blah. um what was the question? How many? What jobs
Like
have I
how,
gotten?
yeah, what jobs did you kind of get from it, or
Mm.
how did they kind of have your profile stand out from everyone else's?
Oh, oh. I would like to think just because like my page is all dance, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not super confusing. If they look at it, they're not like, what the heck does she do? Like,
Right, right.
it's
It's
not
not
like
like she
random
does arts
pictures
and
of,
crafts, dance,
yeah.
all of that stuff. Okay, I
Hmm.
got it.
They can see, what styles I do. Um, they can see like I always keep my headshot pinned at the top so they can like see this is who it
Oh,
is.
that's a good one.
And then boom, right under that, you got a bunch of dance videos. So it's kind of easy for them to be like, okay, I can
Hmm.
see how she dances without actually seeing her at an audition. So
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Charity. That was all the
Yes.
questions. We're going to have some more interviews with me and Luna. That's going to be the end of Charity section for today. Hopefully, that filled up all those questions that y'all have. If you have any more, drop them down to the comments. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.